This video tutorial is for the floor plan green energy cottage. The instructions ask that you create a cottage that's 1,000 square feet. Your length and width could be any dimension. As long as multiplied, it's going to come in at around 1,000 square feet. So if you're 975, if you're 1,100, you're good. You won't lose marks. If you're 88 square feet, you're going to lose marks. So if you want to make things just easy, 32 feet by 32 feet is like 1,024 square feet. So great spot to start. Now this is a two-dimensional floor plan, and the instructions ask that you add three-dimensional furniture to it from the 3D warehouse. Now the criteria calls for 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a kitchen, and eating area, which is pretty reasonable for a cottage. It says that the walls will be 4 inches. So let's start with creating some walls. We'll go offset. Let's just create our interior walls. Let's go 4 inches. Okay, so we got our interior walls. So now you can do it whatever way you want, as far as bringing in your three-dimensional furniture. There's a couple of approaches that you can take. First of all, look at this and get a rough idea of how you want the layout to be. I would suggest bringing in the furniture, then creating the interior walls, just because once you bring in the furniture, you've got a pretty good idea where the walls are going to go. If you create the walls first, you're probably going to end up redoing them, okay? Make sure you have at least one door, and you're going to have to make sure that there's windows marked and visible, okay? Now, marked and visible just means you could do something like this. So let's zoom in and click, 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 and there's a window. That's all you need. Okay? So now once we go to the 3D warehouse, there is a couple approaches you could take as far as bringing items in. Now, the approach I'm going to take for this demonstration is I'm going to bring in furniture one by one. So let's say bed. I'm looking for 1 bed. Now you can use the same bed for both bedrooms. That's fine. There's not going to be an expectation that a variety is not going to be mandatory. Now, when you're bringing in stuff, I would caution you to this, also depending on your computer and what you're doing. If you click on the download and you get a warning that says the item you're bringing in is quite large, it's going to slow down your computer, I would really rethink bringing that item in, because once you bring it in, you're going to experience quite a bit of lag, and that's going to make it pretty difficult to manipulate your drawing and continue with the layout. And since we're going to be building on top of this drawing, we're going to be adding our frame to it, our roofing to it, and we're going to be adding the surrounding landscaping. If it's lagging at the point where you're just bringing in furniture, it's just going to get worse as you go. Now here's our little warning I'm talking about. You selected a pretty big model. Downloading this component might slow down SketchUp. So let's opt to not bring this in. Okay, well, it obviously didn't let me do that. So if you're finding that this is just a little too much to deal with, I would suggest erasing it and getting a different bed. So far my 12-year-old Dell Latitude is handling it sufficiently. Okay, so let's bring this, make sure it's on face. Okay, wonderful. Other thing I'd like to point out is um, the scale of what you're bringing in is going to be dictated by who drew it. Okay, so if you bring something in, it looks just a little too big or a little too small. I would suggest grabbing a tape measure and go, okay, 7 foot. That's pretty normal for a bed. Okay, if you bring in a bed and it's 20 feet long, obviously it would take up quite a bit of your house. So what I'm suggesting you do is bring in your stuff, lay it out, then create your walls, and you've got your floor plan. Now, the other option as far as bringing in furniture is you can actually go into the 3D warehouse, and a really good example is the bathroom or the kitchen. It works for the bedroom too, but you can actually just go right in here and type in bathroom. And it's actually going to present entire pre-made bathrooms, okay? So this one here is it's pretty good. This one actually, they mentioned the size, okay? Because like I'm gonna say this one here, this modern natural bathroom, that's gonna be a pretty big bathroom as far as square footage. Okay, it's probably also pretty big in terms of bringing it in, but now I can pretty much guarantee some of these pre-made entire rooms, they're gonna they're gonna consume quite a bit of memory. So depending what you're bringing in, uh, you're probably gonna get a warning of some kind. Okay. Now I'm not saying don't bring in anything that gets a warning, but what I am saying is just be aware that that warning is more like a cautionary note. Okay. So there's your option two as far as bringing stuff in. You could have brought in the toilet, sink, and everything individually, like I did with the bedroom, or you can bring it in all in one. Now it may require you to edit this component. You might have to take some stuff off just so that fits into your drawing. Okay. Now that concludes the tutorial for the floor plan for the green energy cottage.